Alright, so I decided to check out the My Hero Battle Royale. To tell you the truth, I didn't even know it was a Battle Royale for a while. I got caught up in the anime earlier this year, and a little after that I noticed the One's Justice games went on sale. So I got the second one, and then I looked up to see, I don't know if there was going to be a third one or anything, and then this game showed up. I kept thinking it was Team Rumble, but that's the Crash Bandicoot one. This is Ultra Rumble. But I just took a quick look at it, and I thought it was some sort of action, adventure, maybe some mild platforming game. Then I saw it released and it was free, so I'm like, okay, it's probably a gacha or a battle royale, and considering I didn't recall seeing it get a mobile release, I figured battle royale seemed a little more likely. Not super big into the genre, but it's free, might as well give it a shot. So you have this wonderful footage of me being terrible at the game, and some things to discuss. I compare this game a bit to Naraka Blade Point just because that's the only other combat-focused battle royale that I've played. I played it on that free weekend right before some people noticed, or maybe it just started that they were trying to get system level permissions for their anti-cheat stuff, I think. I think it depended on your system. I never had anything like that pop up, but yeah, that was right after the free weekend, just about. Might be why it even came up to begin with. Anyway, like Naraka, my goal was just to check out the characters I can check out, explore around the map, and play some matches against bots, which I looked up, and yeah, you could do that. And maybe if it was good enough, I would come back when they had a new batch of characters and check them out. But unfortunately, characters need to be unlocked. I don't really even know how. Probably through one of the many materials they introduced, which is probably some sort of currency. So yeah, I don't know, unless they open it up so you can try anyone in practice modes, or maybe there's a rotation of characters that are available. I will say that there were more characters than I was expecting. I don't know if this is the launch roster. I don't know what I was expecting, but when I saw there was like 15 achievements and there was a character on each achievement, I was thinking probably about 15 characters, but I was probably expecting even less than that. And I think there was like 18 maybe? I don't remember. I did count it at one point though. A minor disappointment is that you couldn't mix and match heroes and villains, at least within the offline mode. I'm sure they probably can't do much if you're joining in a group of your friends and you're playing as different characters, or maybe they do lock you out. I think that would be pretty lame. It's just a fun video game, even if it may not make the most sense to have certain combinations of characters. I don't know if Bandai Namco has any other battle royales, and I didn't even recognize the developer, I assume, of the game when it was going through at the beginning when it was booting up. And I don't know if it's just me, maybe I'm just naturally trying to not enjoy the game because I really don't want to introduce another live service game into my lineup, but the game felt real rough around the edges. I mean, a couple big things for me that I experienced was when I was doing the tutorial and messing around with controls and stuff. I don't know, my mouse kept getting like out of sync with the game. Like I would just stop moving the camera at all when I was moving my mouse for whatever reason. I eventually just switched to a gamepad, even though I would have preferred keyboard and mouse, especially when there's some aiming in that involved. I prefer to aim with a mouse and keyboard. I'm not too good at it with a controller. Another thing that happened was there is a big team aspect to this game, but I was wondering if you can just play solo. So I went to back out of the one CPU match that I was going to have, and then it wouldn't let me join another match. I don't know if that was a glitch, if I somehow kicked in some sort of system to discourage people from disconnecting, even though I was completely playing against CPUs in that. Unless I was secretly playing against a bunch of Steam users who named their profiles after the hero that they made in this game, and that is the entire base of people playing right now. But the gameplay itself, it just felt lacking to me. Like I was maybe expecting 2 or 3 standard attacks with different combinations you can use. But then instead you have this more RPG-like system where you have a base attack, which is fine. But then you have 3 special attacks, but they're limited. They can charge up so much. You might get like 3 uses out of it, but then you have to wait for it to charge, another 1, 2, 3, whatever, for your other 3 main attacks. And I don't know, I wasn't really feeling a good rhythm for the most part of trying to, mix them together with their standard attack for some, combos and whatnot. And I don't know, even stuff around the map. Like I remember in Naraka, they would make a big deal if there was like a rare item on the stage, or, a weapon. And where it was a bit of a pain in the ass to do inventory management, I was able to get a hold of it relatively easily on the fly. But I don't know, you can collect buffs, stuff to level up your different attacks and your character in general around the map. And I could be missing something, but I just wasn't able to get a hold on, just managing inventory on the fly that well, or get a good grasp of what I should be going after. The bad thing is, too, is I thought they may have had an interesting idea. There's like civilians around the map who you could save or threaten, but then it's just a timed event and then they just drop items. I think they could have done more interesting things like that. Like maybe you have to sort of get them out of a rough situation or bring them to a safe zone, which could have been kind of fun and unique, and it makes a lot of sense in the world. Or maybe on the opposite end of that, you're bringing them into dangerous areas or taking them hostage or whatever. And yeah, the reward structure would probably be the same, but at least the process would have been more fun and interesting. And the civilians don't even show up on the map, at least from what I could tell. And I don't know, I just remember in Naraka being able to tell what you were going for a little more easily. And I didn't really put a lot of particular time into either of these games, so once again, maybe once you get used to it, it's fine, but at least sort of that learning period isn't as easy. I will say the CPUs even too, like I felt like easy was way too easy, and normal, it just spiked up, and I just really sucked at that point. I don't know, I can see the potential of this game, or of a live service game with the property. But overall, I would have rathered Once Justice 3 or something. I think the last Once Justice was like around the overhaul stuff. So there's been 2 seasons since that point. A lot of stuff I feel like they could do. I don't even know if everyone in the main class got in. I know one of the last DLC characters was one of the missing people from the class, on top of characters from, I think it was called like Meta Liberation, and some of the characters getting new abilities and stuff past that point. On top of the fact that I just would prefer a fighter. I mean, I guess the genre is eating pretty good now with the new Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken. But I don't know, especially if this is... I played a little bit of the first Once Justice. I'm probably going to play the second one now after all of this. But if it's an arena fighter, I don't think... I can't really think of an arena fighter that's came out recently. I feel like, at the very least, it's a little less oversaturated than Battle Royales. But yeah, I guess it was at least fitting timing to play this game, since it just came out, and actually on my way home the other day. Kind of a funny story, but I saw someone had a license plate. It was like a UA Illuminize thing, and at first I saw it, and I'm like, I know I've seen that college symbol before, and I'm trying to place it, and then I'm like, wait, that kind of looks like the My Hero one, but I'm still thinking it's like a real world college, and then I looked a few inches underneath and it said Plus Ultra. I'm like, oh shit, it was the My Hero one. And that reminded me that this game came out, although I'm sure, I think I've seen it on like the homepage of Steam and that. I will say I do enjoy the choice of Cementos in the game. It's a little out there, unexpected, and I like that sort of thing. So yeah, I guess at the end of all this, we'll see how long this one lasts.